In this video, let's take a look at how to solve absolute value problems in algebra. Let's say we're given absolute value of x is equal to 9. To solve this, we will actually write two equations. We will take that x out of the absolute value sign and just write x, and then we will write equals and we will say 9, just like the same thing except for taking away the absolute value signs. However, we're also going to write or because there's a second answer. Now this time I'm going to write that x again, equals, but I'm going to change the sign of what's on the right side of the equal sign. I'm going to change the sign of the 9 to a negative 9. Those are my answers. Because if you think about it, if x is 9, of course the absolute value is 9, and if x is negative 9, because of absolute value rules, that will actually come out to be a positive 9. So they both work. We can take this idea a little further. Let's say that we don't have just x in the absolute value signs, but we have x plus 1 equaling 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of those absolute value signs, and I'm going to write the equation just the same. I'll have x plus 1 equals 9, or now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the left side of the equation the same way again, x plus 1, but this time it's going to be equal to a negative 9. See how I changed the sign on that? But then I solve those little equations. The first one I get that x is equal to 8, or x can actually be equal to a negative 10. Taking the idea even further here, let's say that we have put a 3 in front of the absolute value first, and we still have the rest of the same thing that we've been working with. Well, here you want to divide both sides by 3. So you end up with the absolute value inside the x plus 1 was equal to 3. Then we do the same process, where we write x plus 1 is going to be equal to straight out 3, or x plus 1 is going to equal negative 3. And then we will solve, and we'll get x equals 2, or x equals negative 4. Let's add one more step that we might run into. I'm going to keep that 3 in front of the absolute value of x plus 1, but I'm going to have something after it, say minus 6 is equal to, you guessed it, 9. So what I want to do is I want to add the 6 to get rid of that first. I'm going to add to both sides. Now, that means I'm going to end up with a 3 absolute value x plus 1. That 6 went away, the minus 6 went away, but it's equal to 15 now on the right side. Now I do what I did before in the last one. I divide both sides by 3, so it's just going to be the absolute value of x plus 1 is equal to 5. Then I can do the method we've been doing where I will take away the absolute value, x plus 1 is equal to 5, and x plus 1 is equal to a negative 5. Solving for that, x can actually come out to be 4, or it can be negative 6. Now let's take a look at a situation where we have the absolute value on the left side, but on the right side of the equal sign, we have another place where we have an x variable. So we're going to approach it the same way, where I'm going to write the 2x minus 6, which is in the absolute value, without the absolute value sign. It's going to be equal to exactly what's written over there, the 4x plus 8. Then we're going to write or, and our second equation is going to be the 2x minus 6. This time it's going to equal, remember how we're doing the opposite on the right side of the equal sign? We switched to a negative, we put a negative sign there. So right now what I want to do is put a negative sign, but I'm going to put that 4x plus 8 in the parentheses, and because we're doing the opposite of what was there, the 4x plus 8. And I'll deal with distributing that in a second. So simplifying right on this side, we've got the 2x minus 6 equals 4x plus 8, and we do the algebra there, we end up getting to negative 2x is equal to 14, and then x is going to be equal to negative 7. Now, when we deal with the other one over here, the 2x minus 6, I wanted to that negative sign in front, remember that's a negative 1, so I'm going to multiply that in, distribute it into the 4x, so I get a negative 4x, then I have plus, so I'm going to distribute it into the positive 8, so I'll have plus a negative 8, which of course is going to simplify to negative 4x, take away 8, or minus 8. Okay, so the 2x minus 6 is equal to that. Using algebra to solve that, we end up isolating the x variable on the left side, where we're going to get a 6x on the left side, and that's going to be equal to just a negative 2. Now dividing both sides by the 6, we get the x can be equal to a negative 1/3. So the x is equal to the negative 7, or it's equal to the negative 1/3.